Okay, it says the connection between you is too slow for good video. Turn off your video for better quality.
Okay, well, I can see you well enough, PJ, so.
Okay. I think it's.
So here we go. I'm going to connect with Troy right now.
Okay. I think the connection on this side is really bad. It's just a slow internet, Sarah, so.
Uh-huh.
That's just the way that is, I guess.
Okay, well, that's all right. Okay, just a second. I'm turning off music that I have playing as well.
Yeah, I'm making water at the moment.
All right, here we go. So Troy is here with me.
How's it going, PJ?
Howdy, Troy. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Kind of loud in here right now. I'm making, I work at the school. I'm almost a plumber by trade, so they hired me at the school. My first winter back here in 20 years. So, I'm making water right now. That's what that loud sound is. My chlorine injector pump is going right now.
Okay.
So.
The school's flooding then?
Pardon me?
Is the school flooding?
No, not yet. We got 4,500 gallons. That would suck if I dumped that all in the teacher's unit. We actually got teachers from Montana here. I think I forgot what part of Montana they're from, but we get teachers from all over the states all the time, I guess. So I don't know. I just work here, and well.
Hey, PJ, can you tell Troy a little bit about what you told me earlier about what you start doing as soon as the ice breaks up and that on the river?
Oh, heck, even before the ice go, Troy, we live a subsistence lifestyle up here, and when we go hunting, you know, it's for a lot of people and the whole village. The village is about 140 people. They're mostly Athabascans, and a lot of us we got a lot of Russian blood in us, so, you know, they were here first trappers or traders or whatnot and different things. So we got a rich history. Part of our words are in Russian, our language. So anyway, once we stopped warring with the Eskimos in 1901 or 1902 or whatever that was, we lived side by side. And what we do is we go hunting. A long time ago, villages survived because of good hunters. You know, the law of the land here in Allakaket, it's if you don't hunt, you starve, and if you don't get wood, you freeze. That would be an insult if any one of my people froze anyway. So I'm the second chief here in the village, and, you know, I'm well versed in Western culture. You know, I've worked in Eielson Air Force Base in Fairbanks and Fort Wainwright Army Base as a plumber, and done a lot. I've owned a transport business in Galena. I've assistant guided for 5 years. You know, I was telling Sarah, Charlie Green is one of my good friends, and I've lived in Galena for 15 years, and we've done a lot of things together. He actually is running part of my 100-mile wolf line right now.
Okay.
I hunt, I trap, I fish, I plumb, this weekend I just went 1,300 miles. I went from here to Bettles to the Hall Road to Fairbanks to Wasilla, bought a snow machine and came back. So that was my weekend.
Holy cow.
And then tomorrow I'm going back to Fairbanks. I made this, there's 42 villages in this region. It's called the Canada Chiefs Conference, and I made the executive board. So I represent 12 villages, and the chiefs voted me in at the elections in March. So it's my first e-board retreat, and then at the end of the month, I go to California for 5 days for a National Indian Self-Government Conference. So my life got extremely busy. I don't even know if I can keep this job. This is just a part-time job right here. I mean, I came back to Allakaket to help my parents, but along the way, you know, I get to kill a lot of animals, and God gave me a gift of going out in the middle of nowhere, augering in, and walk, crawl, float out. I've pretty much done it all, and I'm a hunter, fisherman, year round, pretty much. Follow the seasons like the old ways, so that's pretty good.
Very cool.
But other than that, if you look at my Facebook, it kind of tells it all. I mean, Jesus Christ, I killed just about everything that walked or crawled around here about 5 times, I think.
Can you tell them about how you collect the wood and make rafts out of it to bring down to burn?
Oh, yeah. What we do, Troy, is we get firewood for the winter, and we go upriver, we camp out, and we pile wood in the water, we tie it together, and then we pile more wood on top of it, and then we end up making a raft. And then we get it back down to town, and then we put it up the bank, and that's our firewood. That's our firewood for the winter right there. Okay. This day and age with sequestration and everything else, and tribal money's dwindling across the nation. It's 1980, 1979, Troy. Basketball, baseball, TV first came to my village. I was 8 years old. Before that, we lived back in time, Wow. So anyway, we might have to go back to something like that. I mean, I'm trying to teach the boys how to hunt around here. There's a lot of federal handouts, It really sucks, but the federal government really hampered my people in form of production, because they gave us free food, free heating oil. Even that guy, Hugo Chavez, Jesus Christ, he gave us fuel oil. That bastard, he died. He died already, so I guess our fuel oil that went away too, I guess. So,
okay.
But one of the main guys I go out hunting with, we don't go out alone here, is Doug Bergman, and he's not as good as me, but he's learning, trying to teach him all I can anyway. Crazy enough to go out with me. I almost died 7 times, and one of those things. I've walked back, I've crawled back, I've floated back, search and rescue. I shot, trapped, snared, shot, killed 62 wolves, and got about 3 grizzly bear, 5 sheep, and I don't know how many moose. Christ, probably lots. I used to guide for moose. I used to transport for moose. I was on Babe Winkleman out of Minnesota.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I brought that guy. Christ, that guy is 300 pounds.
Yeah,
he brought his camera. There was 5 of them, and I brought them to Caillou across from the Lotto below Galena. Already had, heck, I was making $50,000 in 20 days transport, $2,500 per hunter, and then I wanted to try pike fishing. So I got, I called a bunch of TV shows, Keith Warren out of Texas, Ted Nugent, and
I've worked with all those guys in the past.
Pardon me?
I said I've worked with those guys in the past on shows, so I feel your pain.
That guy shafted me. Yeah, Babe Winkleman, he don't know how to hunt worth a shit anyway. Christ, he shafted me on the moose hunt. I gave him 220 gallons of gas, 2 of my boats. I owned 6 boats one time, 6 boats with motors, canoes, tent. Christ, you named it. And he 5 guys, so I gave him 2 1860 Alumacrafts with 50 horse Yamahas, and they don't even burn gas. And I brought them 210 miles up the Kaikouk in prime moose habitat, world-class 3-day slough. And they burned 220 gallons up. I cut them off, and they shafted them. They didn't even shoot a moose. They rode back and forth, cow moose, cow moose, cow moose, cow moose, cow moose. Like, holy cow, But the biggest moose I ever shot was 69 3/4. So it's right up above town here. The big monsters, they come out right around the 15th of September, 20th of September. And, right pretty soon, about 10 days from now, we're going to go a snow machine across country. And there's some places around my area that thaw out really quick. And that's when the geese come in, the migrating waterfowl. Sure. And then we go back there, a bunch of snow goes with the old guys, and then we go camp out, and hunt geese for 3-4 days, look around for a bear or caribou. You know, those black bears, they come out and they sit on top of their den. You know,
Yep.
they stretch out and they limber up. Even grizzly bears, if we see a grizzly bear, we usually try to get it because we're in competition for them with food. So,
PJ,
if you don't,
when will you guys start doing the? You were talking about making rafts out of the logs. The ice has got to break. When about do you think you'll be doing that?
probably in June because, you know, right after the ice go, Troy, is we go geese hunting by boat. As soon as the ice go, it clear up enough, we weave through the ice and we go out to these good places where the waterfowl are piled up, and that's our fresh food right there. You know, we eat Canada goose, we eat white-fronted goose, mallards, pintails, widgeon, and then a couple of weeks later we got these migrating ocean ducks that go right through our area. They're called long-tailed ducks, and they're called surf scoters. So we hunt those. We try to get as many as those. It's a blast. You know, and about 11 o'clock at night, they start piling in. And even after the ice go too, we set fish nets. My parents set a fish net for whitefish and grayling. There's 3 types of whitefish. There's broad, there's the smaller, and there's a mid-sized range. So there's humpback whitefish, broad whitefish, and then just your leaf cisco. That's your, we don't get good salmon. I was telling Sarah, you know, if you look at my Facebook video for end of July, I believe, I made a fish trap. And it's a salmon fish trap that used to be made out of willow years ago. It's actually outlawed, but I didn't care. I said it anyway. And I was catching 4 or 5 fish a minute. You know, my dad's 73. He's had dogs for 60 years. So Ailey Zerkelet, I did her on muster. She was just here like last week. She got her start in Allakaket. She was a park ranger in Bettles, which is 43 miles away. She got some of her dogs from my dad, and then she came back. Yeah, so.
What about
cool
Doug?
Place.
Yeah, tell me about Doug a little bit. So the sidekick you were talking about, are you going to have him with you most of the summer?
All the time. We went gold mining. You know, I came back from Dillingham. I was grazing hospital gas lines in Dillingham, Alaska, and then, you know, I had inner ear surgery. 2 out of 3 bones, my malleus and my incus bones got replaced, and I had to be in Anchorage at the Alaska Native Medical Center for like 3 weeks. So I laid in bed, and the only shows I watched was Swamp People, Gold Rush, and Bering Sea Gold. Yeah. And I'm sitting there like, Jesus Christ, I'm 40 fucking years old, you know. I got to do something. So I got back with $11,000 I made from Dillingham, 6 weeks, 9 weeks, I forgot what it was. And then I bought a gold dredge, and I just went out 16 miles behind Hughes, Alaska, which is below Allakaket to Indian Mountain. I went there for 9 days. We ate a mountain squirrel. We found about an ounce of gold, maybe a little bit less than that. And then below Coldfoot, the upper Kaikook, I found some more gold. And yeah, so that's how I got started gold mining.
Doug will be with you doing all that? Like Doug will be available then for when, you know, if we were and shoot? What does he do for a full-time job?
He used to roughneck up the slope. He lost his driver's license about 2008. And he's got a roughnecking job right now. You know, Christ, Troy, that guy could make $80,000 a year if he gets his license back. And I don't know what the hell's holding him back, but, you know, I roughnecked for 3.5 years up there from 2000 to 2003 and a half. So, okay. Yeah, it's a rough job, but it's a good, and he does that. He's a hunter. You know, we go everywhere together. He just kind of latched onto me when I moved back. Before I used to plumb from March until November, and then I trapped from November till end of March and take a couple weeks break and go back to work for Slayton Plumbing in Fairbanks. We work on Fort Wainwright, Eielson. Yeah. You know, we do go 6, 7 or 8 months straight of 611s, and Christ, I made $92,000 one year. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, but nice.
Anyway, Doug's a really cool guy. You know, he's an outdoorsman. He drives a piece of crap snow-go. He's mechanically inclined, and yeah, he's a really good guy. He goes out hunting. He goes everywhere with me. I brought him gold mining, sheep hunting, moose hunting, bear hunting, pulling bears out of the hole, you know, hunting grizzly bears, anything. Yeah, he's down.
Hey, PJ, is Doug on some of your Facebook video with you? I believe he's in it, right?
He might be in a couple of videos. You'll have to look at. I posted so many videos. You know, Troy, this company out of Colorado, they were called Orion Entertainment. They were gonna do a show on me called Wild Man Alaska. They were gonna follow me on calendar year, and I don't know what the hell happened. I mean, you know,
yeah,
Yukon.
That's crazy. Something like that.
If you look at one of my Facebook videos, Troy, you know, even one of my Facebook hunting videos blows Yukon men right out of the water.
Yeah.
You know, those guys are fishermen. There's no hunters in Canada. It's just, I don't know what the hell Yukon is doing in Canada.
I hear that from a lot of people. So can you tell me a little bit real quick then for fishing, what you guys will be doing, fishing later on, and what time of year you'll start fishing?
Oh, Jesus. Usually from here I launch by boat, and it's 160 miles to Coldfoot. I have my truck there, and then I drive from Coldfoot to Fairbanks down to Chitna in the Copper River to go dip netting. We don't have good salmon around here, Troy. So I load up on the salmon there at the Copper River, you know, Copper River Reds. You know, I catch 40. One year I caught 120. You're only allowed 40, but I was proxy fishing, and then I bring it back to Fairbanks. That usually happen right when it opens. You know, the first big pulse past the sonar stations, and 2 weeks later they hit right at Salmon Point, right at Chitna.
So is that in like August?
No, that's in July. Yeah,
July.
Usually the July. If it's bad in Chitna, then I go to Kenai, the mouth of the Kenai River, and I dip net there, right off the ocean at Kasilof River.
Of course, cool. So another quick question then, you know, you're telling us, sounds like you've got a ton of things on irons in the fire. Are you going to have time, like if we come up, are you plumbing full time this summer? Are you going to have some spare time? So if we do come up, we'll be able to take all of your time from you?
Well, if we hammer something out, you know, I might be able to work something out. I travel. I'm going every 6 weeks, every 40 days on average. I'm going somewhere with this Canada Chiefs Conference executive board seat I have, and we have meetings in, you know, from Seattle, Washington, to Anchorage, to Fairbanks, or, you know, I go lobby against the pollock industry in Juneau. You know, I do stuff like that, and you know, I sit on a lot of boards. I'm really busy. I'm really hardwired. And, you know, I live a good, clean life, and just enjoying it. I mean, Christ, I went 1,300 miles in this weekend. Picked up a snow-go and picked up a lot of lumber. And
so, PJ, do you have that schedule in advance? The trips that you take, do you know, like, in advance when those are going to be?
No, absolutely, I don't. I do not. It's up to the president of Canada Chiefs when things come up. Pretty much that's it. We have usually had an e-board. It's called an e-board meeting, and there's I govern the biggest region here with Canada Chiefs. I've got 12 villages. Some other e-board members, they have 5, some have 7, some have whatever equals 42. So we meet every 40 days, and we discuss issues, you know, nationally or locally, or pressing issues, or, you know, what needs to be done, and in terms of building capacity within the people, you know, kind of a serious matter. I got into skilled labor, you know, for my cousin. She's a lawyer, and she works for Doyon Limited, and she is the senior vice president. And my other cousin, he's the director of rural education for the state of Alaska. So I got really good knowledgeable people on my side, but my specialty is I'm just an outdoorsman. You know, I love to go out in the woods. I love to hunt. I love to trap. I love to kill things. I love to feed people, and, you know, pulling the trigger.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about your family then? Your
No, my
family?
dad's 73. You know, he's got one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel. And my mother, he's retired 302 operator. And my mother, she's 66. She's got a 2-year college degree, and she's a village counselor. So I'm actually her boss, and I'm taking care of them. So she gives private consultation between the ears to local residents here in Alicante. So, and then her sister's a retired teacher, and she works for Canada Chiefs in a different job now. And her daughter's a retired teacher, teaching in Fairbanks right now. I don't know if she's got a full-time contract or not. And then my dad's side, my Uncle Andy, my dad's older brothers are just a hunting legend, you know. I'll probably have legend status in a couple of years. I'm probably already there. You know, I'm 41, and I've hunted everywhere. I've assistant guided. I've owned my own transport business. And my dad's sister was a nurse at Fairbanks Memorial Hospital since 1978. So, you know, we're really overachievers. You know, we're good, kind people, and we never fought in any wars. So there's some good guys that were here that were in the Vietnam War. No one went to Gulf, Afghanistan or anything like that, but a lot of guys went to Vietnam. You know, they got us because we were good killers. You know, we weren't afraid of the woods, and like my dad's, I call him my uncle. He killed like 58 people, and you know they weren't afraid. He went from 40 below to 110 above. You know, in the dead of winter, and start shooting the enemy for the United States of America, I guess. But anyhow, that's just in a nutshell. I got a brother. He's a loser. I got a younger sister. She's going to be an accountant. Since I got on this e-board, and my cousin's senior vice president of our native corporation, regional corporation, she'll probably get an accounting job. And yeah, I'm just going to, I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably get back to plumbing after my parents, whatever happens. You know, I put my plumbing career on hold to help my mom and dad. So they can't get wood. They can't get food anymore, hardly. My dad's, he's old. He's old. He's been around for a while. So
PJ,
I hope he doesn't live that long. So,
if we can work around your schedule, your travel schedule, would you be able to, I mean, given that you have a schedule, we can work around it. Would you be able to dedicate like 5 days at a time?
I think we'd be able to do that, you know. Thinking about this whole river rat you were talking about, just brainstorming, geese hunting and bear hunting by snow machine, that's in about 10 days. And then right after that, when I come back in May 4th from Cali, the ice goes out and we immediately we go hunt, we hunt grizzly bear, we hunt black bear by boat, and ducks and geese. And that's our fresh food right there because, you know, everybody's probably getting spammed out right now. Actually, put the guys on about 20 caribou this winter. So we got a lot of trigger time. I shot 3 moose, and that's no marten this year. I shot 2 wolves. The State Fish and Game came in and did a aerial wolf control program with the helicopter and 3 super cubs. So,
well, the biggest thing for us, PJ, and it sounds like the stuff you're doing is right up our alley. I mean, it sounds like you're doing a ton of cool stuff. The biggest thing for us is to be able to know that, you know, if we move forward, just being able to get those chunks of time with you, because, you know, with all those things going on, the reality is we'd come up, like Shara said, 5 days at a time, probably 3 or 4 times throughout the summer into the fall. And so we want to make sure if we come up that you're able to say, okay, I can take these 5 days and go and work with you guys and go, pull logs off the river, with Doug or a couple guys and do all these cool things you're doing. But, if we come up, we got to just make sure that you're able to take that time and give us those 5 or 6 days that we're up there.
Wow. Yeah, Troy, thinking out loud, 5 days is actually not that bad. Like in May, we go boat hunting. June is getting wood or, doing whatever you have to do, fix up your trap lane cabins or whatnot. July is fishing. You got salmon coming up, the salmon fish trap. August is bear hunting, black bear hunting off the river. They come down at nighttime to eat the blueberries. 2 weeks after the blueberries come out, the bears are really good. Yeah. And the grizzly bears, you know. In August is sheep hunting also. We go way up the Alatna River, about 180 miles by boat, and then we park the boat, and then we walk up. And we hunt caribou. We hunt caribou, sheep, moose, black bear, and grizz all the same time. So that's a really cool hunt right there. There's nowhere in Alaska you can really do that in one hunt.
Are you guys on a boat when you do that the whole time? Like your transportation is a boat going up and down the river?
Yes. Yes. And, yeah, just like duck hunting coming up, you know, the first guy that puts his boat in the river after the ice thins out, you know, the big roar, the ice goes out, and everybody scurries around, throws their boats in the water, and weave through the ice. I mean, Christ, if we hit a chunk of ice, we're dead, you know, they'll never find us.
Yeah.
Water is deep, it's fast, it's swift, all that. We got crystal clear water, you know, our waters get blue-green in July, and then August it really get good. We go fishing with rod and reel for sheepfish. I don't know if you ever heard about that, but it's like a tarpon. You know, you look at a tarpon, there's a sheepfish like that. And then end of August, September, is we go up the Alatna to go steining. If you look at my videos, in like September, I think, of last year, I posted some videos about steining. We put a first stein on a gravel bar, and we pull it in, and we catch like hundreds of whitefish and sheepfish. And that's really fun right there. We do it just before it frees up. And that serves as our winter food supply. And then after the ice comes and goes, we go to grayling fishing. We fish grayling just when the river's freezing with sticks and fish hooks. And after that, we set a fish net under the ice, and the whitefish are still coming. You know, they're still good. We got whitefish, 3 types of whitefish and sheepfish. And then some people set a burbot fish trap, like an underwater fish trap with a fence and a V and a box at the end. And we catch hundreds of burbot like that. So depends, you know, what a guy wants to do or how. It's such weird weather anymore too, Troy. It's no guarantee on what Mother Nature is going to bring, because holy cow, I was going to make a fish trap this winter, and the ice was, you know, right now the ice is almost 5 feet thick. So we just had a dog carnival last week. Every 3 years we got a dog carnival here, and they have what's called an ice pick contest. And what you do is you get a shovel and an ice spud, and first one to hit water wins that contest. It's like a tough man contest.
Yeah.
So
nice.
we measured it, and Christ, that bastard is almost 5 feet thick.
Wow,
that's crazy.
That's crazy. Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, everything you're saying, PJ, sounds awesome. It's just a matter of looking at what you're talking about in those 4 or 5 months, and being able to, like in the next month or so, if we can move forward, give us 5 days on a calendar, you know, each month, or a 10-day chunk if you have a bunch of stuff going on one month, so that we can, if we all decide to move forward, it'd be really cool to just start penciling in those days so that we know you'll be available, and possibly Doug or your dad, or, you know, we'll talk about that later. But, you know, overall it'll be probably 4 or 5 day chunks. So basically 20 days total throughout the whole summer. And that's what I just want to kind of put in your head and see if that's something you think would be possible for your schedule.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I probably have to check when the Chitna dipnet fisheries open, you know, and, you know, the things I do, it's just outrageous, because I drive from here, Alakac, and I go to Chittenden and they dip net, you know. Last year we hauled, if you look at my Facebook video in July, I think last year, we hauled 3 cords of wood in one night, and we made $1,100. We bought gas, and then we jumped in the jet boat. We went from here to the coast, about 160 miles, jumped in the truck, drive to Fairbanks, powered at my sister's, you know, drank a few beers, ate a dinner, and then we drove on to Chitna. And that's another 5 hour drive, just to get salmon. That's just a fun thing,
Well, PJ, I'll tell you what, we're ready to move forward on this series for sure. So there's actually been contract negotiations already with the other talent. And like I said, that contract had already gone to Charlie when he decided that he couldn't move forward with it. So with you now, it would be a matter of you being able to guarantee us the time, and then we can call Animal Planet, and Amaryllis is the girl's name, we'll send them some tape first so they give you the thumbs up. And then Amaryllis would actually call you and go over the contract with you. And like we said, it would mean guaranteeing us 20 days during the summer months, the summer and early fall, that we could come and work with you and get film. And then they pay per episode basically. So that's kind of where we're at on it. All we would need from you is a guarantee that if we did move forward, that you would be able to, you'd be able to give us those 20 days.
I think I probably would, if we went spring duck hunting, like a couple of weeks, dip netting, steining in September, and I don't know, Troy, you guys want to go sheep hunting?
Yeah, I mean, we would figure all that out, PJ. Like with all these stories, we'd have to get permission and see what matches the show the best. You have plenty of options. You have really, really good options for us. So now it's just a matter of you saying, hey, guys, Troy, Shara, I can do this. I can give you 20 days, and then Shara will make sure that a contract gets to you, and then you can decide, hey, this looks good. We're going to send, our best guys up there. We've got 2 guys that have worked with Charlie quite a bit. I've been in Alaska quite a bit, and, I'll be coming up some too. And, then, like I said, we just come up with a small crew, and that's when we come up and start filming you for these segments for the show.
Okay, I think you'd really have a lot of fun. I think what would sell would be the boat hunt, right when the ice move out in about 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Because we it's dangerous. It's something the town looks forward to. We've done it for so long. No one's died yet, so that's a good thing. We shoot ducks, we shoot geese, we camp out, we shoot beaver. Muskrat, we fry them on sticks, we boil beaver meat, or if we get a bear, we make a pot of bear soup, or the geese, as soon as we shoot the geese, we make soup with macaroni and rice right over the fire.
Yeah.
We just camp out.
The biggest thing too, PJ, like when we come up, we'll want to show the big picture, but we also just really want to focus, depending upon the situation, we'll focus on you and 1 or 2 other individuals. And then, of course, we can show the big picture. If this is like a huge event with the duck hunting and there's 50 people involved, we might show that a little, but then we'd focus more on you and maybe Doug or your dad, or, we'll figure all that out later. But, it's kind of like a day in the life with you guys, because if you get so many people involved, then it's hard for the people to follow that are watching the show, all these different characters.
Oh, yeah, no, there's not 50 people. There's not even that many hunters in town.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give you an idea.
We might see a boat here or there, Troy, but that's about it, and then mainly you're just going out to breathe the cold air of the deep woods, and, that's just a rite of passage every year around here anyway.
Yeah, no, and it would be beautiful. I mean, like I said, everything you've said so far sounds fascinating, and I think would be really fun to film, and, you have a really good personality. So it'd be fun to work with. It's just a matter of, you being comfortable with everything, because, we would just want to make sure that you're going to be cool with us coming up, and that Shara can move forward and send you guys, a contract and stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much okay. I broadcast basketball games at the college level in Fairbanks, Division II basketball, and, it's like, like, PJ Simon live at the Patty Center. Capacity crowd on hand tonight. Or you never heard of Brian Williams with ABC Nightly News?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like NBC Nightly News. Brian Williams here. Fierce fighting among tribal factions in Iraq today.
Nice.
I love the broadcast. I do a lot of broadcasting, and then I do some big basketball, some big native tournaments in Fairbanks, and then in July, I MC this event called the World Eskimo Indian Olympics, and I've done that for 5 years now. So I'm pretty well known in the native community. You know, I keep it real, and you know, everybody knows me as a hunter and pretty much an advocate for hunting and fishing and subsistence rights and whatnot.
Sure.
You know, try to do things the right way, I would say.
Do you have an email address, PJ?
Yes, it's native_guy@hotmail.com.
Native_guy at Hotmail?
Yes. At hotmail.com.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. The first thing I'm going to do is email you what's called a talent hold agreement, PJ, and what that just says is you agree to let us send this. I'm recording this call right now, and we're going to send it to Animal Planet, and that you're okay with me sending it to Animal Planet, and that you will not sign with another production company until we've had a chance to get the okay on it. Is that okay?
What's the time limit on that? What would be the time limit on that contract?
It's 6 months, but because the show is already sold, it's not going to really be 6 months. It's going to be immediately after we get this to Animal Planet. Amaryllis from Animal Planet will be contacting you with the actual contract. And I'll just tell you what the contract states that it's $2,500 per episode. PJ, that's the pay on this contract for a first season. And then, you know, if it goes on to a second season and it's a successful show, you know, that amount goes up. But for first season, that's what the general pay is.
Okay. What about for Doug? I mean, Doug's my right-hand man, you know.
Right. And that is always negotiated. Animal Planet actually holds the talent agreements in-house, and so they would actually contact Doug and they would negotiate the contract with him as well. We just have to get Doug's contact information. So I'll send you an email, and then if you could send us Doug's contact information, we will get that to Amaryllis as well, and then she would contact Doug. Okay.
So this 6 months, okay, and then Sarah, how many episodes you guys looking at shooting?
6 for the first season. So it's a $15,000 contract basically for about 4 weeks. Work.
Okay, you know, Troy, I do a lot of gold mining too. I got in gold mining. I got a gold bug. If you know how to dive for gold, I know where to find gold.
Right.
But anyhow,
I mean, does this something that sounds interesting to you? I mean, are you thinking, I want to do this, or what are you thinking on your end?
As long as you don't make me look like an ass, I guess it sounds all right. You know, I've already been on ESPN Outdoors and Babe Winkle, good hunting and good fishing, and you know,
I can promise you we won't make you look like an ass. You're going to look like a hero when it's all said and done. I mean, we're going to send our best guys up there, and you know what we're going to get. You're going to get to see for generations to come. It'll be stuff that you can share with your family, and if it's a success, like Shara was saying, the next season just gets that much better. The first season's, you know, for you is less shows, but you know, if you have fun with it and it's a successful show, then we'll have even more stuff to come.
Okay, I guess my next question would be, you know, gas is like $7 a gallon here.
Yep.
And
everything will be reimbursed. So all of your expenses while we're there will be reimbursed. So anytime you get a boat or we have to get an extra boat, and maybe you have a guy that, you know, we can use as a guide or a charter as well, all that stuff will be paid for, all your expenses.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that would give some employment to local. That would give a little job to somebody here at the tribe anyway. So
exactly.
Absolutely. Yep. And I will also, PJ, I'll send you the link to our website so you can see a little bit about what we do. We're we're really legit. I mean, I think everything that we do, I don't know if you've seen the Mountain Man series on History Channel, but we make good television. I think you'd be really proud to be part of it.
Okay, I guess my other concern too, Sarah and Troy, was, Orion Entertainment really didn't get back to me. I signed a contract with them. I think it was just for them to do a sizzle reel.
Yeah.
So that was last year. A year ago, actually, coming up in May.
Right.
And other than that, that's the only thing I signed. I mean, I'm just being honest and straightforward with you guys right now.
Yeah, no, and that's good. I mean, I actually know who Orion is, and I've done stuff years and years ago for them. And you're sure it was just a contract for the sizzle? They don't have like a 5-year contract or anything with you? Like it's just...
No.
Okay.
No,
I just make sure
I've never signed a 5-year contract. I think the best way to go would just be year to year. That would be, good business on my part anyway.
Of course. Yeah, we just want to make sure that we don't step in the wrong if we don't know, exactly what that is. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to absolutely love working with the guys that are coming up there. And like I said, a lot of the guys have spent a lot of time in Alaska already, and we're really looking forward to coming up into that area because it's a beautiful area, and just the lifestyle you guys live, I think, is totally fascinating. It'd be really fun to share with the rest of the world.
Yeah, it's a good area. We can hunt anything around here, and it's not a high traffic area. There's not very many people here in this area because it's just geographically, we're isolated, and that's a good thing in a way, so. Yeah.
All right, well,
but we're going to have more moose in the next couple of years, About 3 weeks ago, a controversial program started, the only program in the nation where Alaska Department of Fish and Game was shooting wolves from helicopters to save our moose population just right outside of town. Wow. I got killer footage of that, but I think I sent that to Orion. They actually sent me a video camera, and I was recording stuff for them off and on. Finally, I just got tired of it. I'm wasting my time. And I do a lot of things, and I straight shooter.
Like we told you before, this one isn't something that's still up in the air. This is a series that's actually already sold and ready to go to production. So you're miles ahead of where you were before because the sizzle reel's already been produced. This is for real, going on to television on Animal Planet. So it's a done deal. It's just a matter of whether we can work through the details with you and that you're comfortable with them. And I mean, we're ready to move forward. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys can come up and do boat hunting, that would be pretty awesome. That would sell right there. Grizz, yeah. Black bear, ducks, geese, beaver. I mean, the ice just went out. The whole area just wakes up. There's high water, ducks flying around, birds are back. They're chirping, singing their happy songs. And,
okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was thinking like, Jesus Christ, what am I going to be doing? Just slaughtering animals on Animal Planet? My ex told me, Peach, what are you doing? You can't be killing animals on Animal Planet.
Yeah.
It's like, well, she's a greenie. Yeah, she's a greenie from California, so.
Well, this is more about, this is a lot more depth than just like some of the Orion shows where they're based on hunting and fishing, and we want that, but we also want to show lifestyle and your culture and just everything that's there. And that's what people are going to fall in love with when they start seeing where you live and what the lifestyle and culture is. Then you add the hunting and fishing on top of that and you get the full picture. So we really focus on everything.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty all right with me. I mean.
So with your thumbs up, I'm going to send out an email to you that will have the talent hold agreement that just says you're going to allow us to send this tape and get the thumbs up for your character tape, and then you're going to send me Doug's contact information so Animal Planet can contact him as well. And I mean, this is something that's going to happen really quickly.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, that sounds fair enough. I just don't want to seem like a cold-blooded killer on Animal Planet. I mean, Jesus Christ, kids watch that, and
you
I
won't
want to be getting hate mail or bomb threats, or, you're going to go to hell for, killing moose and black bear. And
No. It's not going to be like that at all. I can promise you when we come up with our crew, it's going to be totally different than what the worries you have in your head. You have nothing to worry about, because when it's all said and done, you're going to look back and go, man, that was one of the coolest things I've ever done, because it's all going to be captured.
Yeah.
And you know what I can do, PJ? I can actually send you the sizzle reel that we made for this show. And Charlie Green is in it, but just think of yourself replacing Charlie Green in the sizzle reel, because I'll send you that so you have an idea of what it looks like.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have wavy hair like Charlie Green though.
Yeah. Well, we'll be in touch. Can we get it? Can you give us a thumbs up in the air to make sure Shara's okay sending this video?
Give me a thumbs up.
Well, if you guys come up for boat hunting, I mean, that's like 3 weeks away, Troy.
Yeah.
We'll be ready.
Yeah, we've got our awesome.
All right. That's what we needed.
Thank you. Yeah, we've got our A-team crew that was just on Mountain Men, and we're done with that series for the winter, so we've got our ace guys ready to go, and everybody's waiting to go to these new locations. So we're sending the best of the best guys, the best gear, and everything up there.
So sweet. Hopefully it's not thousands and thousands of pounds of gear.
No.
So
around
PJ,
here we travel light, The old guys say that you only need a teapot, axe, salt, sugar, and a boiling pot, and that's all you need. So
yeah.
So I've got one question, PJ. Where would the crew stay when we get there?
Say again?
Where is there like an inn or someplace where the guys could stay? Is there a hotel?
Right. You go to the middle of Alaska, for God's sake, Sarah. I'll ask around town, see if there's an extra teepee around that you guys could stay in.
Well, we've got wall tents.
I'll have an extra house, just probably no running water here. There's actually no running water in this town. Troy, when your crew gets here, you go back to the 1970s. That's how smart I am. I'm a plumber that moved to a town with no plumbing. I'm a genius. Yeah.
That's awesome. Makes it easy for plumbing then.
Yeah. Try going from $80,000 a year to this shitty job here at the school, making $20 an hour for 30 hours a week.
Yeah. We'll come there and spice your life up. But yeah, we'll be in touch. Shara and I, and there's another gal, Marianne, she kind of helps with some of this stuff too. But I'll be contacting you, within the week to start talking about specific story ideas, and just you can call Shara or myself anytime. I don't know if you have a piece of paper. I can give you my cell number right now if you want.
Email it to us.
Or we can.
Yeah, let's do that, Troy.
Okay.
It's 406
570
5450.
5450.
And you can call anytime, seriously, about anything. If you have questions or concerns or ideas, I'll be talking with you about story and, some of the logistics and anything else you have.
Okay, I know I'm leaving back to Fairbanks by truck and snowmobile tomorrow night, and then I'm coming back Saturday, and then I leave again. I leave for California on the 28th or the 29th of April, and I come back the 4th. And right around the 4th right around that time, the ice goes out, and it's good hunting,
Okay.
It's bright all the time. You could kill whatever you see or whatever you choose to kill and stuff like that.
So PJ, when you're on this trip though, you have your cell phone with you, right?
Cell phone?
Your cell phone?
Hunting?
No, when you're in California.
Yes, I'll have my cell phone. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Because then we can start talking and seeing what works best for stories and logistics and timing and that. So Shara's going to send you some of the paperwork, and then we can kind of move forward. And like I said, call us anytime if you have any questions. but
Okay,
you're going to be
fantastic. Hey, you want Doug's number?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 907
Okay.
968
Okay.
2270.
2270. Okay.
Yeah.
You got it.
Okay. Well, thanks, PJ, for your time. Please, like I said, call anytime if you have questions on anything.
Okay.
Look
Right
forward to
on.
meeting you in person.
All right. Nice talking to you, Troy. Sarah, thank you, guys.
Thank
See you,
you.
PJ.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.